As we were doing the demolition of this bathroom, we came to find that there are many deficiencies on the subfloor. In this case, as you can see, the floor is presenting a lot of deterioration, water damage, and the surface itself is not as strong as we need to. And for that reason, what is necessary to be done, and this happens in many properties that are fairly old, and people try to do repairs. In this case, what we need to do is actually remove all the floor covering and expose the joist, the structure, reinforce the structure whatever is necessary, and after that install a 3/4 plywood. In this case, I don't like to use particle boards or TDX or whatever other material. I like to use full plywood, you know. But that's how we have to start. We have to start by demolishing this. Be careful when you're working with this type of structures. Walk safely. Ensure that you have gloves and goggles, on when you're using crowbars and all these things to avoid any type of accident. So that's how we continue. Okay, as I work in this project, making sure that this soft floor is really appropriate for the nice tile work that I'm going to put on top. I found out that the structure itself has some concerns. If you notice, I just made a cut over here using a reciprocate saw and an oscillating saw. What I did is that I cut through right in the middle of the beam or the joist that is underneath. If you notice, it was right there. And what I want to make sure is that since all these beams are separated every 16 inches to the center, I can see that this wall over here is not being supported underneath right with a piece of a joist. In other words, if I cut all the way up to the edge, I'm going to take all the support for that structural support, and we don't want to do that because you will have a sinking floor in the short future. So what I did is that I cut right there. I made sure that I went deep enough to be able to remove it safely, and I found the same situation on the other side. Now you have those pipes over there. Be careful when you're removing floating around pipes, that you can break them and burst all the stuff. Make sure that you know where the water cutoff valve is. But over here we have the same situation. If you notice, I have the nails over here right in the middle of the beam, and the distance from here to there is not quite 16 inches. So I know that the support, the wall over there is supported right almost in the middle of the two joists, and we don't want to remove that stuff. We have to be responsible. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut and make the same cutout over here, and that we did on the other side. We're going to remove that carefully. Now, to make up for the section that's we're going to have 3/4 of plywood from here to there, and we're going to have just the original 5.5 inch that is from here to there. So we want to make sure that we fill this up with a section of a 1/4 inch plywood to make it up and make it level. I know that this material right now, this floor in this case, is strong enough, it's clean and dry enough to resist the pressure of the other one, and yet we are making sure that we're not compromising the structure of the house. Okay, and now that I will say that 3/4 of the flooring has been removed, we can actually see what is going on. Like I explained before, we went ahead and cut right in the middle of the joist there, and right in the middle of the joist there. So we have 3/4 of an inch to secure our new piece of 3/4 plywood. As you can see, the flooring, the joists are not bad. Actually, we have a lot of reinforcement around the flange, the toilet flange, and before they had some, I would say, some repairs from underneath, and that's why we have this, and due to the amount of small patches that were around. But the flooring itself, the joists are fine. I'm going to remove some of the debris that that was I will say the outcome of removing all the dust and layers on top. And then what we're going to do is, once we install the piece of plywood over here, we're going to install it with some 2.5 inch exterior screws, really durable. And also we're going to install it with some construction adhesive, so we have a better, more stable structure for soft flooring for before I install tiles. So that's how we're gonna continue. And the next thing is, to ensure that we install this section over here of plywood before we continue there for our safety. Before we put the plywood on this section, we already got that one installed over there, but we reinforced the entrance from that bedroom into the bathroom. The problem was that it was no support, and if we were to leave it like that, we're gonna have some major problems in the future with the tiles. It will not be supported. Same thing on this side, we created some support over there. I'm gonna fast forward to the final product over here, on the floors, and that is that the floor is already finished, and with that is that as long as you have a nice solid surface underneath, whatever you put on top of it, and in this case this type of porcelain, whatever you put on top of it will be fine. If everything is nice and level and clean, you're not gonna have problems. So now we have the toilet over there, obviously some of the molding already installed, and the sink, so it's a nice sink that is sitting on top of the tiles, and everything will probably last for a long time doing it the way we did it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video will help you to understand how you can have this process done by yourself. And subscribe to my channel if you're not a subscriber. If you are, thank you so much. And share with your friends and like it. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.